Everybody, good evening. I'm Steve Eager. Shortly after the shooting, which injured 2 students and a teacher, Timothy Simpkins got an attorney and said he'd been the target of bullying. The family of the student, who was shot several times, denied those claims. Tonight, the police chief said it was the shooter, Simpkins, who participated in, quote, high-risk activity leading up to the fight that day. The announcement was made at a town hall meeting held by the Mansfield ISD. Fox 4's Stephen Dahl was there. Stephen.
Steve, the Arlington police chief tonight saying that the only evidence of bullying is statements made from Simpkins' family. Tonight saying that there was no bullying and that the altercation stemmed from a disagreement between the shooter and the victim.
This was not a bullying incident. And I just want to take that narrative out of the equation.
2 weeks after a Timberview High School student shot 15-year-old Zacchaeus Selby and teacher Calvin Pettit.
Welcome back to the Supremely Black Podcast. This is your boy D Rose. We'll go ahead and get into it today. We're going to be giving an update on the Timothy Simpkins situation. The police investigator had actually stated that he does not think that bullying played a part at all in regards to the Timothy Simpkins situation. As we have known in the previous episode when I did an update on it, there was speculation that he was being either bullied or that was his intentions, or he was playing a role of, street guy selling drugs, etc. Right? So it's come out that the chief has stated that he doesn't think bullying was the intent, that Mr. Simpkins actually conducted himself in a way of engaging in high-risk activity. High-risk activity more than likely means either involved with a clique or selling drugs based off of the allegations that were placed upon him. Now, we're not going to make it about that. I'm just going to follow back up with the previous video that I had actually stated of why it's important in this particular situation is that when we have kids, say for instance, they're saying that Timothy's very well off and he was being robbed. They never stated of robbed of what, so it's obvious that there was something that he was took of, whether they say that he was, stripped down, he was being picked on and beat several different days. We don't really have those allegations for the detective to say that, hey, this is the side he's standing on. We still haven't heard anything from the school district. So to me, that's still a red flag from the school district to say, were these accusations or the things that were saying that his family said occurred where there's a timetable to it, right? So I think that's a red flag of how we look at that. Also, if this was something that had been going on for a considerable amount of time, even though the parents want the child to go to school, I would still think from a parent perspective that you would keep your child from going to school if they're really debating on, they're going through depression, they're scared, and they're not want to go to school, right? And when I think about it, he was charged with aggravated assault for the shooting at the school. One thing that I did like about that is that the officer actually stated that he did not think that this was just another shooter or considered like an active shooter. He feels that this is a separate incident that happened to take place at the school. Now, this isn't condoning either way, and here's my thoughts on it, and here's why. Is because, here's an example. If Timothy is the guy that is really making the good grades, on an A honor roll, well-to-do kid that lives in a nice neighborhood, what are we doing in society that makes a kid want to be allegedly or put himself out there as a thug, right? What makes that be the image from us? Why is it so much of a pressure within our society for it not to be deemed as cool to be just the smart kid at school? And that's something I'm asking for the people that are watching. And even if, if it happens to land in front of Timothy's people, what makes it not cool for you just to be just a smart kid? Why do we have to always mix these images, right? Secondly, when you think about the school district, if you know that area or there's been things that are going on, we have to up the security measures in regards to stopping these particular things from coming, because even though this was an isolated incident that I'm actually talking about, if you know for a fact that there's things going on that could potentially spill over that has been reported, there has to be different measures. Like the kid wasn't in the class. There's a lot of different things that just went wrong, and we're just thinking about how could this be taken care of moving forward. I think that there needs to be some type of either security checks, definitely checking for guns now. I think that, you know, those are the type of things that should be in place anyway, honestly, because it seems that this happens so often. And then, you know, thirdly, this is how I look at it. What's going on with the lack of communication between the parents and the school district? Because we're seeing the officers come out and speak about the situation, but we've yet to hear the school district clear up any of the allegations. So, which to me, this is why I'm only giving an update, just since I originally touched on the case and said it looked as if that this is some street stuff that actually spilled over into school, regardless of how well he was financially or how well he was academically. So here's the thing, is that when we aren't provided with all of the details, you have people that are wavering the fence. I'm glad that when I actually came out, it's still not much of a difference from it, besides that they don't feel that he was being bullied. And I explained in my first video about this from both sides. But I just think that there's a lot to learn from it. There's nothing wrong with being just the regular cool kid that's smart. We don't have to mix the street behavior with it. And also from the kids that may not be as well off, there's no need for you to look at somebody like Timothy as a sweet lick. Like, your time's coming, just wait your time, right? There's no need to press it. You're in high school. You have plenty of time to live, to be up, down, balling, not balling, and back ball again. That's just how life is going to go. You'll see that as you continue to live, right? But the real important piece is, how do we prevent this from happening again? I just think that the school district needs to speak out on this issue as well, to actually state to the public of what was really going on with Timothy Simpkins. Or is it something that won't be revealed until we actually get into the actual trial for this? But there's a lot to learn from it. I will continue to keep you all updated, since I originally had touched on this a couple weeks ago when it originally happened. There's an important clip that I'll be showing within this to kind of keep you all posted on it. And also there's another video that I'll be touching on to kind of show you all of how it's occurring in different cities, but how these dads had actually have stepped in to protect their kids and the community from the outbreak of fights and things like that. So again, this is your boy D Rose. Make sure that you hit that like button, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. And when you're commenting, be mindful of what are some of the ideas you think that we could do nationwide across the board to really help the kids take a different route in regards to the things that they are becoming desensitized to, which is gun violence and just violence overall. What proper steps can we take moving forward to help as a nationwide effort to protect the youth moving forward? Because I think they're so impressionable right now. Helping them and guiding them in the correct way will keep an issue like Timothy Simpkins from actually occurring again, to where it could be some fatalities. So like I said, hit that subscribe button. This is your boy D Rose from Supreme Black Podcast. I'm out. Salute.